Hey, what's going on, everybody? Slick D Gamer, Scott W. Perry here, and welcome to another edition of Retro Chronicles, where we look at the best of the World Wrestling Federation, World Wrestling Entertainment video games, and then take a look at the entire history. We're up to episode number 6, and we are up to probably what many older gamers like myself consider to be the best of that generation. Released in arcades in 1991, the game just to this day has been very inspirational, has proved to be one of the best, has a very huge following, and an official sequel was released last month. So basically all the right buttons were hit with this, and the game we're talking about is for the arcades, and it is WWF WrestleFest. Now this game is beyond fantastic. This was one of my favorite games when I saw it in the arcade cabinets in late 1991. Played a lot of it, and it really showed, it really exemplified the World Wrestling Federation at the time. 12 characters are in the game, 12 wrestlers. You can only play as 10. And the roster was very good. You had Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, Million Dollar Man Ted DiBiase, Mr. Perfect, Jake the Snake Roberts, Sergeant Slaughter, The Big Boss Man, Earthquake, Smash and Crush of Demolition. Those are your playable characters. The two non-playable characters, probably the greatest tag team of all time, the Legion of Doom, Hawk and Animal. Now, there were only 2 game modes in this game, but they were both great. You can play Saturday Night's Main Event, where you went through, very similar to its previous game, Superstars, where you would take a tag team, any 2 of the combinations. You can only choose Demolition as a team, which was pretty good. However, any 2 combinations, and you would take on 3 opponents to get to the championship match, which was against Hawk and Animal. There's a great graphic of showing Mean Gene Okerlund interviewing Hawk and Animal, getting ready for the title bout. And in between matches, you would have an update from Okerlund about how the challengers are climbing up the ranks. I usually played, my combo, believe it or not, was Mr. Perfect and Earthquake that I played when I was in the arcades. But recently I played as Hogan and Warrior. I was more of a heel. I guess I liked the heels back then. But they were a great combo to have. You had the strength and the strength of Earthquake and the technical ability of Mr. Perfect. Gameplay is great. It's 2 buttons, but they implemented so much. This was the first game I can remember where finishing moves were a staple of the game. Every superstar had their signature move. Hulk Hogan had his running leg drop. Ultimate Warrior had his running splash. Boss Man had the Boss Man slam. Mr. Perfect had the Perfect Plex. My absolute all-time favorite, though, is probably Sergeant Slaughter with the noogie, 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 noogie. Yeah, that was his finishing maneuver at the time. But it was such a great experience and such a great mode. Now, we're just getting to the tag team mode. But nobody really played it. That's the best thing about it. This is such a great mode in the game that went virtually unplayable because it was the second mode that really stands out to this game. It was the first time in any type of wrestling game that I can remember that we could play a Royal Rumble match. Now, for me, Royal Rumble is my favorite event. I watch it every year. I even went to one. Unfortunately, it was 2004, but I had a great time going anyway. It's such a great event, and this was as close as we can get to it. There's 6 men you start in the ring, and you can throw a guy over the top rope, or you can pin them, or make them submit. Those are the 3 rules. When one guy was eliminated, another guy came in, and they had a nice little graphic in the bottom of the screen, just like in WWF television. At the Royal Rumbles, the old ones, they would have the little graphic in the corner showing the wrestlers coming out. They would have a nice little, animation of them and the rings in the background, and it really did a great job doing it. It was a quarter sucker. You put in a lot of quarters to play it. The goal was to beat all other 11 as yourself. That was usually the goal. But the gameplay was great. It was great to play with other people. They would just chime in and play it. I believe, if I remember correctly, I believe it was a 4-player cabinet. there were 2 players, but the one that I remember playing was a 4-player cabinet. And it was just phenomenal. The wrestlers look great. The graphics are incredible. The gameplay is just spot on. I'm able to play it today. A lot of people are able to play it through a MAME emulator on the computer. I have a Pandora arcade unit that I plug into the computer and play it. I've seen people that have built arcades based around just this one game, using it as a console. I mean, it is just a fantastic game overall. I can't praise it enough. WWF WrestleFest by Technos, definitely out of all the games that came out in the first 10 years, this probably is the best one, hands down. Like I said, great roster from top to bottom. There was one notable omission, though, when we went through the 12-man roster. Due to his retirement at the time at WrestleMania 7, this is the first WWF video game to not feature Randy Macho Man Savage. He would come back, though, stronger than ever. But his omission was kind of glaring, but it just gives a testament of how great this game is when you have one of the, probably the second biggest star of the time behind Hogan not in the game, and it's still considered one of the best. So can't recommend it enough. And if anybody can, check out Retrosoft Studios on their YouTube page. Check out WrestleManiaWrestling.com and pick up Retromania. It is a great official sequel to this game. There's a Let's Check It Out on here. They're going to be adding more wrestlers to the DLC. I hope a few from the original game will be in there. I know it's going to be tough with the WWF license, WWE license, pardon me. But they've done a great job. Basically, they have done a terrific job just encapsulating the nostalgia of WrestleFest into this. If you are a fan of WrestleFest, definitely get that game. It is definitely worth it. The Road Warriors are in the game, which is awesome. They already said that Demolition won't be in because of legal reasons, but I do hope that they can get maybe Jake the Snake in, or even some old NWA guys. I might do a video explaining some old-time wrestlers I would like to see in there. All right, but that's it for this edition of Retro Chronicles. On our next one, we are finally going to go into the 16-bit era and talk WWF Super WrestleMania. There were 2 games for it, both for Super Nintendo and Genesis, and we're going to check both out. Until then, I am Slick the Gamer, signing off.
One, 2, 3. Congratulations! Now go for the next match. Crush backbreaker. Warrior Steel Slash. 1, 2, 3. Is disqualified. Warrior Gorilla Trick. Warrior Steel Slash. 1, 2.
The ultimate warrior is the king of Royal Rumble.